Welcome back. Danny here with the Confidently Flawed podcast episode, and I have a very special guest here, our newest coach here at Raw Fitness, Jason Torres here. Welcome, buddy. Thanks for coming in. Super excited to have him. He's been doing the onboarding process here at Raw, developing as a coach and some other, key responsibilities and roles that we do here. So what we wanted to do is not only for our members to get to know a little bit more about Jason, but also, kind of give some of your knowledge and what you've learned being in health and fitness for yourself, like what type of impact that's had on you. So I guess before we kind of dive into it, Jason, tell us maybe something unique about you, something different, something that you like to do in your spare time, or just a little bit about you before we kind of dive into like the fitness side of things.
Of course, Jenny, and also thank you for having me in the podcast.
Absolutely.
Team, I'm Jason. I've been in the fitness industry for about 10 plus years now. I also have a background in martial arts, primarily practicing jiu-jitsu. And recently I've been married to my amazing wife.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
How long have you guys been married?
We've been married for like 3 months now.
Oh, wow.
Known each other for 6 years, so we were like kind of friends for first 4 years or so, and then things kind of just sparked up from there.
Awesome, good for you.
And just a little unique thing about myself, I'm also an audio engineer by trade.
Okay.
One of the unique things I like to do is I write music on the side. I'm not the most expressive guy when it comes to words, so I kind of use music as like a tool to like express myself.
Love that.
Also, I play in a rock and roll band called King Norman. It's based in Metro Detroit.
Check them out.
Yep, I have it all on Spotify, Apple Music. See me on YouTube. Got some videos there. Yeah.
Awesome, man. That's great. So like, talk to me, like, I know you and I have kind of talked a little bit about it, but like what like got you into fitness now per se, right? You got some background in martial arts. You've practiced fitness yourself for quite some time, getting into training, all of that. Like what kind of led you to that kind of passion?
Yeah, so the biggest thing for me, when I started to join sports back in like middle school and just started doing some more martial arts, what I noticed is like unlocking the capabilities of what your body can do.
Yeah.
Starting to learn more about that, like with your flexibility, your strength, and aligning it with your mental drive. Just overall, like seeing yourself evolve.
Yeah. So kind of like leveling up, and not just about the sports, but also like what that did for you in other areas of your life and things like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Love that. And that's actually, it's funny, that's kind of what led me into fitness as well. Like I was in a very, kind of bad spot, and I was very active, and then I fell away from that. And what brought me back is like getting into being active. And I thought I was doing it for a sport at that point, but I really found that like I enjoyed the personal development of fitness and the mental fortitude and strength that I developed from that. And just my world changed for that. So I can definitely resonate kind of with that background and kind of what you've kind of been through with that and how that's helped you, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's something I can also just relate to my loved ones and teach to like the ones who are special to me.
Yeah.
And for anybody that wants advice,
Yeah.
So I feel like it's a nice thing to take a grasp of your mental and your body and physicality.
Yeah, like I guess real quick, like how has like working on your health and fitness translated to other areas in your life?
It's like when I was like younger, I've always kind of like suffered from, I wouldn't say suffer, but like pretty anxious guy.
Yeah.
I get a little nervous of things. Like I said earlier, I wasn't the most expressive when it comes to speaking. And I felt like fitness kind of gave me that gateway, that path to just be more expressive to myself and being able to just take a grasp of mental state. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's great. That's hugely impactful for living a higher quality of life just from, challenging yourself and pushing yourself in health and fitness, So I know, being in an industry, really any industry I'm sure we run into, but we see it a lot in fitness. Like there's a lot of like, people see on Instagram or YouTube or all these, influencers or whatever it is. And there's so much content out there for health and fitness. Like what's maybe that thing that a lot of people latch onto or, maybe you see as a myth or just like an approach that just kind of really just like bothers you, or you hate seeing it? Like, is there anything specific in the industry that, you don't like the way it's kind of brought about?
Yeah, it's a good question, Danny. Actually, it's a specific myth on my end. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that feels the same way. But for women that thinks that weight training will make you look manly and
Yeah,
bulky and
big one.
stuff,
Yeah.
I feel like it's truly a myth for me, because I feel like with that, it just accentuates how, the feminine body would look like,
Yeah.
and being able to just take a grasp of your strength and
Yeah.
mental. So I would think that would be the biggest myth for me.
Yeah, I hear that a lot too, and I think it comes down to like like how many young males who have like prime hormones to gain muscle mass struggle to gain muscle mass, right?
Yeah.
It's like your hormones got to be a certain way, you got to lift a certain way for an extended period of time, you have to eat a certain way to gain muscle mass. Like there's so many factors that you have to try to do, and even then it's very difficult. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm with you. That's if anything, it's almost the opposite, right? Like if you want to look feminine, if you want to look lean,
Yeah.
strength training should be the number one thing that you do. You know what I mean? I was just having a conversation with a client just before we started this about that, so
Yeah.
she's in her 60s, never done strength training. So we kind of started talking about getting her into a strength training program.
Yeah.
And because of those specific reasons, you know what I mean? So I'm definitely with you on that.
Yeah, that's one of the things that my wife and I actually argued about when we first started living together. Like, oh, I don't want to do all these weightlifting. I don't want to look like a man. Like,
Yeah.
no, you won't.
Yeah.
Now she's in love with it.
Yeah.
She's starting to see her body change.
Does she look like a man?
No, she doesn't.
There you go.
That's what I was looking
Yeah.
at.
Prime example, right? So, all right. So, getting into fitness, all that, like, what do you specifically like enjoy the most when it comes to like health, fitness, nutrition, like anywhere in that kind of realm? Like, what do you enjoy the most with it?
Man, I can honestly name so many things with that, but for me, it's like the lifestyle and the results that comes with it. When it comes to health and fitness,
Yeah.
you become more aware of how much you can push yourself and build that vision on how you want to look and how to feel. Also, when you do physical work, you become more aware of what you put inside your body.
Yeah.
Your consciousness for you to learn and how to eat healthier and cook healthier choices.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'm with you. That's probably the same thing for me too, is just the benefits I get from it. You know what I mean? For me, just like my quality of life improves dramatically. Like everything in life gets easier. I'm less stressed. I can handle stress better. I have more energy, right? I can be more productive.
Yeah.
My mental health, my physical health, right? Like there's so many aspects of it that just doing a thing a few times a week of like exercise or focusing on, eating a little bit healthier just goes a long way. So, being new to Raw, right? Like what are you most excited about being a part of the Raw team or sharing with the Raw clients? Like what kind of excites you when it comes to that?
Oh man, there's so many things about the Raw community that I really love about and excited about, but definitely the culture and community that comes with my role as a coach.
Yeah.
Like the Raw clients, like really radiates their energy, and that makes you always want to show up and bring the best as you can as a coach.
Yeah.
And the Raw clients are amazing. They bring in the heat in every session, they love to be pushed. And the team wants to, ultimately, the result you see from their dedication, believing in Raw with their goal and transformation. That's what amazes me about it. Like when I looked at this wall, like it amazes me. And then when I actually meet that client, like, wow, you look like that 6 months ago. Now you're here. That's crazy.
It's not a fake picture. You know what I mean? It's real people, right? Real people, real results.
It's crazy what you can. What the transformation is, honestly. So that's why I felt like I found my right team and the right community to be.
Love that, Jason. Yeah, we love having you here, man. You're going to be a great fit here. And that's one of the things that I tell people too, like when they ask me like owning a business or especially a gym, like what I like, what I not like, whatever, like the biggest thing for me is like how many like businesses or even careers in general can say that you can truly transform somebody's lives.
Yeah.
There is obviously doctors, surgeons, things like that, right? Other areas like, EMTs and things like that. But like not like a small percentage of them can say like, I'm actually changing this person's life. And that's pretty cool to see and say and be able to do, you know what I mean? And a lot of us are passionate about helping others level up like we've done ourselves. And the fact that we can kind of do that, man, is really fun.
Yeah. It's amazing what we do here at not just speaking that because I work here as a coach, but it's just seeing the evidence like it's possible for anybody.
Yeah. Love that, man.
Yeah.
I already asked something. What's the one thing? It's fitness or health?
That helped you the most?
Yeah. Do you feel like you've answered that?
I can answer it.
I'll say So, all right, yeah, I know, Jason, you kind of like talked a little bit about like the impact it's had on your life, but like, what's like one of the things that we do in this podcast is we always like try to give the listeners like a takeaway, right? Like, what's the thing that you can take away about this conversation that they can take with and utilize? Like, so like for you specifically, like, what's the one thing when it comes to health and fitness that has been, you know, the biggest lesson for you or something that's helped you the most?
Yes. To me, it's like always show up. Like no matter what, no matter how bad your day is, no matter how bad your day is at work, you had some kind of argument, you know, don't let that be dictate the rest of your day. Always show up for yourself. Because if you don't, like your day will decline even more. You know, consistency has always been the biggest lesson for me in every aspect of fitness. If you're going to be consistent with your training, your diet, and rest days.
Well, and what happens if you skip that day because things are hard, you don't feel like it? Every time that comes up, you're going to do the same thing, right? You're going to create the habit of, oh, I'm tired, so I'm not going to do it. Or, oh, I'm busy, so I'm not going to do it. Oh, this or that. And this is anything in life. This isn't just health and fitness. This is anything that we create a neural pathway in our brain that like anytime A happens, I always do B. So if you can just show up, even if you don't feel like doing it, you're going to create that system, that neural pathway in your brain of your habitual pattern to do it every single time so that you don't get these roller coasters or ebbs and flows of your health and gaining weight and then getting it off and gaining weight. And you're just going to feel so much better. So like if you want to create something to make it an internal habit, I love that. I think the number one thing that anybody listening can do is even on the days they don't feel like showing up, show up anyways. Right? You're gonna be happy you did, and you know, regardless. You're not gonna get done with that workout and be like, oh, I wish I didn't do it.
You
know what I mean?
Exactly. Like I'm not gonna go all scientific about it, but everything just, you know, if you're having a bad day, your nerves wakes up, dopamine levels goes up. When you get home, you're happy to see your family, happy to see yourself in the mirror. Like I just did that.
And you stack those days after days, weeks after weeks, like you just live a better life. You know what I mean?
I agree 100%.
So Jason, kind of lead with this, like, is there anything else that you could share with people listening or the Raw members or whoever that's like something that maybe they can learn from either your mistakes or things you've learned along the way that they can implement into their life and live a healthier and happier life?
Just kind of like the reflecting what from the previous question is, you show up for yourself no matter what, you know, have a vision how you want your health to be. And if you're not self-motivated, you know, think about your family, your loved ones, how are you going to stay strong and to provide for them, you know, show examples to your young children and picture how you want your future to be, you know, and think about how you can support that by staying healthy and being fit is a great start.
Well, and a couple other tips like on that same path is sometimes people aren't as motivated by the positive. They're more motivated by the fear, right? So there's a study they did where like a rat was in a bottle or like a tube, right? And they had cheese over here and nothing over here. It was just blocked off. And it like I might be butchering it a little bit, but the concept you'll get is towards pleasure, the cheese, or maybe it was like the cheese here, and then like I'm trying to remember exactly, but essentially it was like when they put the cheese there, like a positive reinforcement, like motivated them. The rat like went over there, but it wasn't like super motivated or anything like that. Versus when they put like the smell of a cat on one end and then they like flew out, right? They're way more motivated and pushed way harder when they had the fear. So like it's unfortunate sometimes, but we as humans for survival, sometimes are more driven by getting away from fear, getting away from pain. So if you're struggling to stay motivated, like maybe find like what is the cost of inaction if I don't do this? If I don't stay consistent with my workout routine, if I don't lose these 30 pounds, if I don't do this, what happens then? What does that turn into? And that might motivate you more than the positive outlook. And the best thing that you can do is get some accountability.
Yes.
Right? Like and I'm not even saying it's with us at Raw. That's what most of our clients come to us for, is to get some accountability so they actually can build a consistent fitness and health routine. But it's kind of the same thing. I explain this a lot to people is, I have 3 young kids and I'm trying to get them to brush their teeth regularly. It's a pain in the butt at first. They don't want to do it. They don't understand the value in it. They're not in the habit of doing it, right? So when they don't feel like it, they don't show up, right? Like we were talking about. But eventually accountability of mom or dad or grandparents or whomever, getting them to do it, explaining the benefits, getting on them, holding them accountable to it. Eventually, hopefully like you and I, we brush our teeth every day. It's a habit now. We don't even think about it.
Exactly.
That's what most people need for their health and fitness or nutrition or whatever it is in order to get to that point to make it a habit. So my top tip is like find some way of finding accountability in your life. Pay your friend $1,000 and say, don't give it back to me until I reach this goal, right? Or until I consistently do these things, right? Or hire a coach or hire a trainer or do some type of program that they're going to hold you accountable. Whatever it is, money's a huge driver for motivation. So that's a big one there. But find some way to hold yourself accountable and you're more likely to be more consistent and develop, that motivation or force motivation to stick to it.
I agree with that 100%. And that's kind of like the relationship that my wife and I have.
Yeah,
we
love
hold
that.
each other accountable.
Love it. It's huge. Yeah.
If I see her not drinking enough water and too much wine, hey, drink some more water.
Good for you. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it helps, right? And it's going to impact your relationship, not only just from doing that, but also like you're both going to feel better, more confident, things like that, which is just going to elevate the relationship as a whole, man. So props to you guys for doing that. More people need to do that, right?
Yeah, great.
Cool. All right, Jason, we'll appreciate you coming on, sharing your story a little bit with us, kind of letting people get to know you here. As always, guys, we don't do any ads or anything for these podcasts. All that we do is if you can give us a rating, a review, share it with a friend that you think would find some value from this. Share it on your social medias, whatever works for you. We just ask if you can help share the message so we can keep doing and providing you guys with the secret sauce to live in your healthiest and happiest life. And we'll see you next time on another Confidently Flawed podcast episode. Boom.